Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. And they're using that god-awful four-letter word describing the weather known as snow. Supposedly we may get a nor'easter on Wednesday. And I haven't started or done anything with this thing since the last time it did some snow throwing, I don't know, March time frame. So this thing has been sitting for 6 whole months. I want to just get it started, warmed up a bit. I don't need to show you guys changing the oil. So let's hope for the best, huh? I'm going to keep talking about checking oil because the one time you don't is going to be the time you toast your engine. Toasting an engine is an expensive way to figure out you didn't check the oil. Gasoline is empty. I must have run it out. Doesn't smell too horrible. I think I'm going to try to get away with just putting gas in it. So I checked the oil. I put some gas in it. No starting fluid yet. Choke is on. Plenty of primer action. And she says bark at the moon. Oops. Oh. This choke's on. A little starting fluid to think about. I must have got some in the carburetor, right? Gotta love it when a plan comes together. Gotta see if everything else works. One of the augers turning, the other one isn't. Well, this ain't good. We found something that needs to be fixed. So luckily, I keep a couple of different sizes of these shear bolts. See the little cut there and the little cut there? That allows these bolts to shear at a certain point rather than break your auger box, right? You break your auger box, you got a great mini bike motor, but it's not, using this as a snowblower isn't very good anymore. Okay, here we go. I replaced that pin. By the way, I'm going to finish this video after the start, but that should be greased, that should be greased, that should be greased, right? So there are another few things to do. Been started. Let's see if it's happy. Perfect. Next machine. So I got this monster from Kevin Bergeron. I gotta get in touch with him. We got some more deals good. Anyway, I've never used it to do snow, but let's get it to the driveway, see if we can't get it fired up. He completely serviced it before I got it, so now it's just a matter of, you know, making sure it's gonna work for me and that nothing bad happened to it from sitting like mice moved into it. just to show you the size difference. Boy, that thing is a brute. It looks like it could inhale my poor Cub Cadet and spit it out. Anyway, this is electric start, and it looks like he's got a pretty fresh battery in there. I'm gonna see if I can't just turn it right on over. So choke, right? That's his wheel clutch. That's open. I think it's just a matter of turning it. By the way, I did check the oil. Let me make sure I tighten the oil. A lot of times if you haven't, it'll throw that right out of there. Well, round and round she goes. Smells flooded. And we might be choking it. Or not choking it, we might give it a hoot of starting fluid here. Remember, just a hoot will do ya. And she says, happy. I'm checking to make sure the air is flowing through. Feels good, right? I feel air flowing through the motor. Good. Now for the other stuff. Alright, let's see if the important stuff works. I like it. What do you guys think? I think this monster will throw some snow. Some people realize, some people don't, that depending on where you are and the time of the season, there's kind of different kinds of snow out there. Where I live, I tend to get very, very wet snow, slush. And I could get a foot of it at a time, even more. So I've put the rotor extensions on here, right, the back kicker, the whatever you want to call that thing. I think it's called the rotor. I put the rotor extensions on there. I actually cut up an old all-terrain vehicle to make them. I've seen people cut up the pads. You get them from Tractor Supply, and there's a guy who actually makes those rotor extensions that you put right on there. The rotor extensions wipes that back drum and kicks the snow a lot further. It keeps things from clogging up, especially if you have the wet snow. So that's really helped me. Before I did that, this thing was going to become an engine donor. This snowblower has what's called a big single. It's only a single stage. You kind of have the that kind of kicks the snow up and out. I've never used this one, so hopefully it's good. Hopefully it does a nice job for me, especially once again with the wet snow I get here. If it doesn't work well for me, I also have the DR Mower deck, and I could go cut down 2-inch trees with it. So there we are. I think I'm done with the snow blower part of this discussion. At some point, I am going to have to get out there and do something with the generators. I got to make sure my generators are running. If I lose my power line, it could be days before I get it back. Right? If I'm the only one without power, they just kind of cut me off at the street, or the breaker blows at the street, and then I'm loose, and they fix, 1,000 people offline, 500 people offline, 100 people offline, 10 people offline, one person who has a medical emergency offline, and then they get to me. So it could be quite a while. I always like having generators available to allow me to work my way through. All right, folks, in the meantime, I need you all to keep your feet down and your heads up. I want you all to have a great day. Make sure you get out and have fun. We don't know how much more good weather we're going to have, so go have fun. Bye now.